Unknown did 6 in the morning for Ice-T.
Exactly.
He did 6 in the morning and something else for Ice-T, but it was not me.
Mm. Okay. Oh, he said that's what I was wondering. Oh, he says, do you have any great stories of Ice-T? Also.
No, but I do remember one time he and I had a conversation. We were on tour, and it was Ice-T, Just Ice, N.W.A, and World Class Wrecking Crew. We was touring down south, and this was the first time I was the only non-gangster on the whole damn tour. And me and Ice-T was sitting on the balcony at this hotel just talking about this shit because the night before it was goddamn chaos. Oh, it was chaos. I'm not used to this kind of chaos, fighting in hotels, fighting in the arena, fighting. I don't do that shit. Only fight we got is which girl is coming back to the room, and he was trying to. He and I both were discussing, is this shit gonna get any worse? We cool, but damn man, he and I about the same age, so we got different attitudes when it comes to certain shit. When it comes down to real men talking, we had a very interesting conversation about the future of rap and how this shit is it going to really survive this type of activity? Because when you start talking about violence in concerts and hotel rooms that non-melanated people own, you're talking about a lot of cancellation shit, man. A lot of cancellation because nobody wants to deal with that shit.
Some Pieface says Alonzo Justice Williams produced the track, not N.W.A. Alonzo. I never heard of Alonzo Justice Williams. Have you, Alonzo?
Never heard of it.
Yeah. I'm even looking it up right now. Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Never heard of it. There's a couple of us out there. I ain't never heard of Justice.
Yeah. Let us know what else you know about that in the chat. We really appreciate it. Last week, Lonzo, when we were talking to Kid Frost, great call, by the way. If anyone hasn't checked that out, go back. It was one of our bigger shows last week. There were a lot of comments, people on some of the stuff Kid Frost said. But Lonzo, you performed for Booya Tribe. I don't think we ever really discussed that other than briefly bringing it up during the Frost call. But can you talk to us about what you remember about the Booya Tribe, the Samoan homies out of Carson, California?
There's some big bitches. That's what I remember. They some big dudes. And one thing about them, if they like you, they love you. I'll never forget. I was at an event, Licorice Pizza over on I think it's Adams, and the Booya Tribe was there. I hadn't seen these guys in years, and I walked up and said, "Lonzo!" He hot, one of the tall ones, man. Somebody's picked me up like I was a baby. I'm not Buzz. I'm a grown ass man. This is in the early 2000s, maybe late 99 or something like that. Lonzo! And bitch picked me up and gave me a big ass hug. I'm like, God damn, put me down. But yeah, super cool dudes, man. Till they get pissed off. You don't want to be around. You don't be around. They get all their money from the promoters. I toured. That's when the one dude that died, I think they call him the Godfather or something like that. He had the derby hat and the cane, and I think he was the one that died. And there was another one that was huge. He must have been about 6'3", 6'4", but just all muscle. And that's the one that he and I can't think of nobody's name right now, but he was one of the ones that was super cool with me. But that's it. We toured with them for a hot minute, and that was an interesting situation because people wasn't used to that. They weren't used to that at all. But it was cool. We developed a good relationship though, man.
Do you remember them being, blooded out? Yeah, they were famously from the Pyru set there in Carson. Do you remember them being, draped in all red and bringing that?
Not on tour, but I do remember a story that's very true. In Centerview, which is also blood territory. Centerview off of Avalon, right before you get to the 91 freeway, a Samoan family got jammed up by the sheriff, and they came out so strong they backed the sheriff down. Sheriff had, we ain't fucking with y'all. They backed him up. There were so many of them, so big, and they came out so strong. The sheriff like, this ain't worth the hassle, and they left him alone.
Damn. Let's give a shout out to him. So it was Vincent Gotti DuVoe, Donald Cobra DuVoe, Roscoe Murder One DeVoe, and David EKA DeVoe. And then the past members was Ted Godfather DeVoe, RIP, Paul Gangster Rid DeVoe, RIP, and Danny Monster O DeVoe, RIP.
Yep.
Booyah Tribe. And you said they love some World Class Wrecking Crew, right? Did you say that?
They were break dancers. They were break dancers. They'd be breaking like breaking like a son of a gun, Doc. They weren't always banged out. You know, you got to realize, man, this is back in the early 80s. Gangster rap had not really fully taken charge of taking over the music industry, and folks were still doing. People were still dancing. And you got these guys break dancing and pop locking in the whole 9 yards. Big son of bitches hitting it. No bullshit.
I would love to know your thoughts on this, Lonzo. Jadakiss and Fat Joe, they have a podcast together. They recently went viral for this statement. And this has been brought up in the past, but now that it's going viral, I'd love your thoughts on it. They said, and I quote, "Hip-hop is the most dangerous job in America." We've heard that before, but when you hear that, Lonzo, what are your thoughts?
Hip-hop has been made one of the most dangerous jobs in America behind the necessity to maintain a low-level street attitude at all times. Hip-hop does not embrace education, man. Hip-hop does not embrace positivity. I just read where a brother out of, I think of Chicago, positive rapper, got killed. I mean, it's just amazing, man, that when you have a situation that is created by us that's been used against us to destroy us. I mean, remember 2 years ago, every week we were reading somebody's obituary. That was not being, you know, in Chicago. 2 years, was it 2 years ago? Yeah, 2 years ago. We on a weekly basis, I think we did 52 shows, maybe 49 of them had somebody that was dying. And that's just me and you. These are the ones that, you know, that just got our attention. How many of them didn't get our attention? How many of them didn't make the national news? And when you have a mentality that is has not elevated in quite some time, man, and it's like instead of it elevating, it's retracting. You know, you tell guys, hey man, you can't go nowhere all that jewelry on. But they feel they have to try and defy the local cats. And just like your boy PB, was it PB? It got killed at Roscoe's. Dude, you